Shedeur Sanders admits to major fault at Browns practice as Dylan Gabriel reveals big plans amid QB competition. Expectations are beginning to be dashed by the pressure in the crowded quarterback room of the Browns. It's a pressure cooker with 4 egos, 3 backup-worthy resumes. Kevin Stefanski has steered the Browns toward a grittier identity, placing a premium on physical resilience. After seasons marred by attrition and lapses in physicality during key stretches, Stefanski's message is clear. This team won't be out-toughed. Since the Browns snagged Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL Draft, analysts dubbed it one of the most intriguing value picks in years. However, that intrigue has quickly given way to concerned backup-worthy resumes. Kevin Stefanski has steered the Browns toward a grittier identity, placing a premium on physical resilience. After seasons marred by attrition and lapses in physicality during key stretches, Stefanski's message is clear. This team won't be out-toughed. Since the Browns snagged Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL Draft, analysts dubbed it one of the most intriguing value picks in years. However, that intrigue has quickly given way to concern. Sanders came in hot on day 2 of OTAs with a 7 of 9 showing, 3 touchdowns, and 0 picks. That's a 78% completion rate for those counting. Even so, the most likely starter for Week 1 is Kenny Pickett. Joe Flacco, at 40, is still slinging and now taking second-team reps. Dylan Gabriel is earning real work with the starters. And Shedeur Sanders? He's QB4, and that may not change soon. To his credit, Sanders isn't hiding from the struggle. After a difficult outing, he said, "I got time to be able to grow and mature and be able to understand the ins and outs of the defenses and be able to get the good insight from the vets in the room. So I look at it as, a plus." He pointed out missed throws and footwork issues under center, saying, "I'm looking about every day in practice because I had some misses out there today that we got to go in there and correct. But Ree's getting in and out drops a little bit faster from under center." The admission comes at a crucial moment because the clock is ticking. Sanders has not yet practiced with the starting offense during OTAs, despite the initial excitement around rookie camp. In the meantime, Gabriel is splitting reps with Pickett and has surpassed him in the depth chart. Sanders' roster spot is immediately in doubt because there are 4 quarterbacks in the Browns room and probably only 3 spots available. Sanders, though, remains focused on the fundamentals. So that's the main thing. I'm focused on the small things. And over time, the big things will happen. Translation? He's taking one day at a time and not stressing over the future. But time might not be on his side. Fox Sports' Jason McIntyre didn't hold back. The guy's got "Be legendary" as his motto. He's throwing really lavish NFL draft parties. And he's 4th on the depth chart, decidedly. With Flacco taking second-team reps and Gabriel splitting with Pickett, Sanders is stuck in limbo. Stefanski's not offering handouts. If Sanders doesn't force the staff to reevaluate with undeniable play, he risks becoming a cautionary tale, not a comeback story. But Gabriel, on the other hand, is seizing the moment. While Shedeur Sanders slips, Gabriel climbs with steady reps and sharper focus. Dylan Gabriel has his own set of skeptics, namely height-related concerns, but he's splitting reps with the starters and is facing his own set of challenges. I think that's a challenge for anyone. There's a time within that you have to work through, he said about the rookie learning curve. While Sanders battles depth chart gravity, Dylan Gabriel is quietly building credibility. The former Oklahoma QB is already splitting reps with Kenny Pickett, proof that the Browns coaching staff sees potential in the lefty despite early OTA turbulence. Gabriel's numbers aren't spotless. He went 11 of 16 with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, but they're enough to keep him in the mix. His biggest value, though, might be his mental approach. Asked about the challenge of adjusting as a rookie QB, Gabriel delivered a veteran-like answer. "But I think I go back to being present and not being able to dwell on a regression or get too high with a progression and being just even-keeled throughout that. I've been trying to just stay balanced in that way, but every single day there's something to get better at." So in a room defined by chaos, Gabriel is keeping his calm and focusing on his game. And it seems to be working for him, as he is not QB4 at least. But in a room this unpredictable, that order could flip before preseason even begins. Myles Garrett sends strong message to Browns for ditching Nick Chubb after open challenge to Aaron Rodgers. It's part of the game, part of the business, so you get used to it. But at the end of the day, I think everyone, personally, just wants to be there for his boys. I think it's deeper than just business, it's a brotherhood. With these bittersweet words, 7-year veteran Nick Chubb now looks forward to creating a new brotherhood with a brand new destination. But his absence still rings loud in the Browns' locker room. But no one misses the veteran RB more than Myles Garrett, who has spent almost his entire career playing alongside Chubb. Looking at Chubb's future in the league, Garrett has also spoken up about what it means to not have Chubb with them. To say Nick Chubb has had a bad couple of seasons is a major understatement. A torn MCL and a damaged ACL sidelined him back in 2023 in Week 2. But one season-ending injury later, the guy came back. Coming off the injury reserve in Week 7 of the 2024 season, it wasn't long before the bad luck came trailing back again. In the Week 15 game against the Chiefs, Chubb broke his foot in the third quarter, and that marked the end of yet another season. As the Browns saw their RB being carted off the field again, the curtain seemed to have closed on his time with the Browns. And as the offseason began this year, Chubb found himself without a contract. As Chubb now joins a new team, his absence rings the loudest with Myles Garrett, who has tried his best to keep Chubb on the team. In the minicamp presser, Myles Garrett made himself heard loud and clear. His message? I love Nick, and I think a lot of the guys who are in this locker room still feel the same way as I do. Seeing Chubb injured repeatedly wasn't easy for the team. As Garrett put it, it crushed us to see him get injured, have to battle through, and then it happened again. But Chubbs has another chance with the Houston Texans. And Garrett is happy his career isn't over, happy to see him still able to play, still able to do his thing. I want to see him go back to being the player that he was and have a smile on his face. Continue to, ball out. With the Texans, Chubb will have another shot at showing the kind of explosiveness people have associated with him over the years. Myles Garrett had been very vocal in trying to keep Nick Chubb with the Browns. He was in talks with Browns GM Andrew Berry for a way to get him back here. Garrett explained Chubb's absence was an emotional blow, but the team is looking ahead into the new season. If he crosses paths with his Chubb on the gridiron this year, it will be as rivals. And Garrett will not go easy. If we play him, I hope to punish him, but if seeing him on TV, just playing on Sundays or Mondays or whenever it is, I'm going to be happy for him because he's able to play this game, and that's a privilege. But Nick Chubb is not the only guy Garrett will be pumped to face this year. He's also issued a challenge for the newly minted Steelers QB Aaron Rodgers going into the new season. Myles Garrett's challenge to A-Rod while facing off against Nick Chubb on the gridiron might be a bit difficult for Myles Garrett. He certainly won't take it lightly. But throwing challenges to veterans, on the other hand, is a no-brainer. When asked about the possibility of facing off against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, Myles Garrett didn't hold back. With a smirk, he issued a stark warning to the veteran. The warning? I think it's a good opportunity to put him in the graveyard. According to the NFL schedule, the Browns are set to take on the Steelers on October 12th, the 6th week of the season. But that's not the only chance Myles Garrett will get against A-Rod. There's another matchup in Week 17, shortly before the new year arrives. With two showdowns lined up, it will be interesting to see what plays Aaron Rodgers calls to subdue the clear threat that a player like Myles Garrett poses for the Steelers. Garrett is in peak shape as he gears up this season. And as for A-Rod, he will have to get in sync with the new team to maximize conversions. Not exactly an Aaron Rodgers in his prime, but the face-off will certainly be one to watch. When the season comes around, there's a lot riding on A-Rod. And with players like Myles Garrett throwing open challenges to him, it will certainly be interesting to see how the landscape of the AFC North turns out as these veterans go head-to-head. The Steelers or the Browns? Which team are you rooting for?